Feels like summer at MetLife Stadium compared to the winter storm that blew through here yesterday, but the field is clear, ready for football. Aaron Andrews, the third member of our group. Aaron, how's Russell Wilson feeling his first game in New York?
Well, he flashed us a little bit of a smile when we asked him, could this be a dress rehearsal for the Super Bowl in February? He said, let's get on a win streak. How about a 6-game win streak? He says it's all up to us. Now, on the other side of the field, Eli Manning, how's he doing? He told us, remember back in Little League when you didn't care about playing for a championship? Well, that's us now. We practice hard all week long. Let's go have fun on Sunday, and let's give it our best effort. And speak for yourself. It's not summertime conditions. Come on, it's chilly.
Compared to Green Bay a couple weeks ago, yeah, it is. Well, these Seahawks know in 7 weeks the Super Bowl is here. Very aware. Listen to their pregame huddle.
Take a good look at this place. We coming back. Believe that, man. It's real out here. Take them out early, and they done. Let's get on this plane and go back to Seattle, man. Let's go, fellas. Amen. Make plays on 3. 1, 2, 3. Make plays.
That's Michael Robinson, the fullback, one of the leaders of this team, John. The Seahawks said all the right things all week in meetings with us, but don't think they don't know what the deal is here.
They know exactly what's going on, and I tell you, I'm a believer. I think, but it's critical that they have home field advantage. They can go a long way towards gaining that with a win here today.
Giants won the toss, and they have deferred, so Seattle will receive off the kickoff. It's Turbin who decides to take a knee, and the Seahawks have started off on their own 20-yard line behind the dynamic Russell Wilson. Seattle coming off their second loss of the year to the Niners, and look at his numbers coming off a loss. It's spectacular.
Well, coming off a loss, coming off a win, the guy just wins. He's a winner. Having won 75% of his games in his first 2 years, a special player at the quarterback position for the Seattle Seahawks.
He's got the 5th best passer rating in the league this year at 106.5. Marshawn Lynch in the eye to start it off, and Lynch will get it on first down, breaks through the original line, and Lynch out to the 30. It should be good enough for Seattle. First down.
And this is what you see from Marshawn Lynch quite often. They're going to run their zone scheme, they're going to stretch it, and then he runs through tackles. Incredibly strong arm tackles won't do it. Marshawn Lynch, a game-changing player for the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle, the 3rd best rushing team in the NFL, and it's behind Lynch and Russell Wilson, who will take off when need be. On first down, Wilson over the middle. Nice catch. It's Golden Tate, and that's a Seattle first down. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back first downs.
Well, this is timing and rhythm, and in many ways, I think the unsung MVP of this team, Golden Tate, has been fantastic. Sidney Rice out for the season. Percy Harvin hasn't been healthy all year. Golden Tate's gone from a role player to their #1 receiver and done it in fantastic fashion.
That's Luke Wilson in motion. The rookie tight end had a big game last week. They go to Lynch, and Lynch tackle for a rare loss. Ryan Mundy, backup safety on the play.
Kevin, we take a look at the game changers for the Seattle Seahawks. Well, we saw him on the first 3 plays. Marshawn Lynch, he gets the running game going. He exemplifies the toughness of this team, and then the playmaker outside, Golden Tate, fantastic as a receiver and in special teams as a punt returner.
On second down and 12, Lynch, and the Giants stack them up. Maybe a half a yard there. Cullen Jenkins first to get there.
And when you look at game changers for the New York Giants, it's always started up front for them, and Justin Tuck has been on fire of late. 6 sacks in the last 2 games. Beeson has really solidified this defense in the middle, and Antrell Roll has been all over the field. Some veteran players playing big for the New York Giants defense.
That's Jason Pierre-Paul out with a shoulder injury. He's had injury problems all year. That's why the Giants D-line hasn't been the same. 3rd and long. Giants come with a blitz. It's picked up. Wilson on the run. Hits Baldwin, and a nice tackle by Antrell Roll. And Baldwin's going to be a yard shy. It'll be a 4th down and 1. And that should be a punting situation for John Ryan, who is having a historic season.
He is. This punt team, it's been incredible what they've done. He's given up some of his booming ability, and sacrifice that for the better of no returns, and they've just been incredible, Kevin.
You read that right. 15 punt return yards the whole year, and Carolina had a 10-yard return in week 1. Comprehend that for a second. Unbelievable. So here's Ryan. Kicks it Aussie style with that drop kick. And there'll be no return on this one. Another fair catch, Ruben Randall. Antrell Roll made the play, and now it's Eli Manning taking the field. Giants get the ball. When we come back.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Giants first possession. They start out on their own 15-yard line. Seahawks punted their first play. Manning under deep duress gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Big Red Bryant was in there. Should point out, if you saw some contact on the last punt, we looked at it in the break, John. John Ryan just barely got grazed on the side, so no penalty.
And Kevin, that's what we just saw in that first play, the pressure in Eli Manning's face. It's happened all year long. This offensive line has struggled mightily. Injuries, poor performance. They've been in Eli's face all year. It's affected him in a big way.
He's been sacked a career high 32 times this year. And he'll never say a word bad about the offensive line or anybody, but it affects you. There's no doubt. Andre Brown is a tailback. He gets his first carry, not much. Half a yard on the play.
You take a look, watch Red Bryant right here. He's just going to bull rush the right guard. He and Brandon Mebane right back into Eli Manning's face. He hasn't had time to set his feet all year, and that will affect any quarterback, let alone a two-time Super Bowl MVP. It's been a tough year for Eli Manning. The lack of protection has been a big part of that.
Giants have not been a good team on third down, just 35%. That's 26 in the NFL. This is 3rd and 10. Pressure up the middle again. Manning is going down. I mean, that was a jailbreak by Seattle. Wagner and Averill were there.
Well, Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, you see all the men up, and they're coming after Eli Manning. They know this offensive line is suspect, and they're going to test it early. They get after Eli Manning. This defensive front for the Seattle Seahawks has been awesome all year long.
This is not a good combination for the Giants. The Giants have let up 3 return touchdowns, and Golden Tate has been tremendous back deep. Good kick by Weatherford. And Tate with a nice shifty move. And he's into Giant territory, down to the 43. It was Will Hill on the tackle, but a 20-yard return for Golden Tate, who does that so well. And Seattle has terrific field position on their second possession. Sure, they'll give it to Marshawn Lynch back in MetLife after this.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Seahawks special teams have been tremendous all year long. We've already seen it. A good punt by John Ryan and then a 20-yard return by Golden Tate. And now on their second possession, set up with a 1st and 10 at the Giant 42. And Lynch out of the backfield with the catch and a stiff arm, and still going on Prince Amukamara. And that's another Seattle first down.
And just another example of the versatility of this team. We think of Marshawn Lynch as the hard-charging physical running back. But what do? They split him out in an empty formation. They use him as a wide receiver. They look for players that are versatile. That's how this roster is built, and they use their talents in a multitude of ways.
There's a 12-yard gain to Lynch. Already 3 first downs for the Seahawks. Wilson is going to loft it out to Lynch, who absorbs a big hit by Spencer Pasinger, and there's no gain. You know, John, the Seattle team lost to San Francisco last week, but you never know it. It's almost like they took lessons from that game, and we're not happy about it, but they were, you know, they seem like they're in a good place.
I think they are, and you know, I really think you look at their leadership, and I think of 2 people, Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. They were almost excited from the lessons that they learned from that loss. One of the things Russell Wilson talked about on the road was good tempo. He wanted to force the tempo on the road. Things take longer, and we're seeing that early.
And the read option, Wilson will keep. And Wilson on the design run outside. We've got our first game break of the day. Kurt Menefee has that.
Well, as the world knows, Jay Cutler back in the starting lineup for the Bears. This is not the start he wants. First possession, it is tipped, but right in the hands of Tashawn Gibson. Picked off by the Browns, and just like that, yeah, Cutler's detractors are winning, but it's way early. Kevin, John, Aaron.
Kurt, thanks. You heard Brandon Marshall tell Aaron Andrews in the pregame feature that Jay might be a little rusty. They were waiting for that. Well, they were right. Third down. Wow.
And Russell Wilson has been incredible. 124 rating the last 6 games on third down. He really has shined in this critical situation.
I don't know if they got this play off, and I don't think they did. Play clock winding down. That'll be a delay.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's Bill Levy, our referee today, former San Jose police and firefighter. Bill got the call today for us. So third down now for Seattle, moving back 5.
I think that's a great example of just what Russell Wilson was talking about on the road. Communication. Sometimes in the helmet it takes a little longer. It's loud and they get bit by it early. The tempo that he talked about wanting to force just got him on that third down penalty.
They've been a bugaboo for the Seattle team. Really the only thing that has. Third and long, blitz coming. Wilson unloads, incomplete. He was looking for Golden Tate. Usually short-handed, could not haul it in, and now a field goal try.
You're absolutely right, Kevin. Golden Tate, strong hands. Uncharacteristic drop for him. Russell Wilson puts it on the money right through his hands. And Seattle will bring out their kicker, Stephen Hauschka.
Maybe the sun playing a role. Here's Hauschka, who has missed one kick all year long, and that one miss was blocked. Wasn't even his fault. He's been tremendous. So it'll be a 49-yard attempt as John Ryan, the punter, holds. And Hauschka is good. So the 49-yard field goal has the Seahawks on the board. That's Wilson reaction, just missing, but they're up by 3.
Today's game is sponsored by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
Seahawks get the punt return from Golden Tate, 19 yards. That set up a short scoring drive. They went 11 yards and got the 49-yard field goal from that man, Stephen Hauschka. So it's 3-0 in front. Giants will get the ball for the second time today. And what's shaping up to be a great day in New Jersey after 4 inches of snow yesterday. Jarrell Jernigan, chance to return one. Out to the 15 and then tripped up. Nice tackle by Jermaine Curtis.
Well, Kevin, we saw the first play of this game. Here's 2 weeks ago. Brian Arakpo on Beatty, the left tackle. You got to come ready to play. Here's the first play in today's action. Brandon Mebane right up the middle on the center, Kevin Booth. Here's the third down. Today, Eli Manning under siege as he has been all year. If you give Eli Manning time with his receivers, Victor Cruz, Akeem Nicks, he can do some damage. He hasn't had time all year. It's affected him in terms of inaccurate passes that have led to turnovers.
Second possession for the Giants. Brown reverses his fields and still can't get anything. Cam Chancellor made the hit. Now they spent a lot of money, these Giants, John, on Will Beatty. 5 years, $38.25 million. Hasn't worked for him. They've had injuries. I mean, they lose an all-pro like Chris Snee on the right side. That hurts. They've used a couple of centers now. It's been a bad combination for them.
It has been, you know, and injuries are a little bit of an excuse, but you look at Seattle on the other side. They've weathered the storm through a lot of injuries on their offensive line, so it is doable. It's really been a problem area for the New York Giants football team this year.
Seattle may have jumped. Manning's trying to take advantage, and he's got his man Brandon Myers. That's good for a first down as Myers out across the 37. 20-yard pickup.
Offside. Number 51 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Kevin, you talk about like trends in the league. It used to be hard count when quarterbacks were underneath center. You're seeing it every week from the shotgun. And if you're a defensive lineman, real simple. Watch the football. Get the quarterback's ears out of your head.
Going to be a pitch to Brown. And Brown is across the 45. maybe a hair shy. It's Bobby Wagner on the tackle. Gain of 7.
And when you look at the game-changing players for these New York Giants, Andre Brown, steadying force for this offense, gives them the ability to run the football. And we just talked about these two receivers. Akeem Nicks, big week last week in San Diego in a slow year. And Victor Cruz, always excellent for Eli Manning.
What up, say? 180.
On 2nd and 3, it's Manning in and out of the hands of Cruz as Chancellor was waiting with the big hits. 3rd down coming up.
And here's Victor Cruz. He talked about these matchups. He's going to have to win and win quick. He does win and win quick. He doesn't win on the catch, though. Victor Cruz, typically sure-handed, lets one go through his hands.
Hard to imagine Cruz having another good year, not as good as the last 2, but he hasn't scored a touchdown in 9 weeks.
He said it's time to salsa again. Was hoping to do so in the snow. No snow. And there have been no touchdowns for Cruz of late.
On 3rd down, Manning finds Pasco, the tight end, and he is, judging by the mark, going to be a little bit shy of this 1st down, and the Giants will punt it.
Malcolm Smith does a nice job keeping the ball in front of him and coming up and tackling. That's what the Seattle defense does tremendously. They tackle extremely well.
And again, there's Tate going back to receive. That number is staggering. That's what the punt teams have allowed. And you wonder how special teams can affect the game. It's right there. Weatherford gets it away. It's a booming kick. Tate will fair catch it. A rare thing. Going the 9th fair catch of the year by Seattle. 46-yard punt, no return. 3-0 Seattle. Seahawks in front of the Giants 3-0 here in New Jersey. 5:53 to go in the 1st quarter. And Seattle, after a good punt by Weatherford, deep in their own territory. Robert Turbin is the back, subbing for Marshawn Lynch on this particular play. Turbin sprinting through the hole for another Seattle 1st down and a gain of 11. We've got a game break. Joe Klatt has it for us.
Kevin, we go to Tampa Bay. Michael Crabtree back in the lineup, of course, catches this 4-yard TD pass from Colin Kaepernick. That's Crabtree's first of the season. 7-0 49ers back to New York. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
And that game, Joel, of importance to the Seahawks. Seahawks with a win today and a Niners loss could clinch the division, but they need both to happen. Again, going to the ground with Turbin for a short gain. John, you just get the feeling that San Francisco is getting warm at the right time?
Yeah, you just said it. I think peaking at the right time. They're getting healthy. That guy right there, Crabtree, he makes a big difference. They get their passing game going. I think Seattle learned last week this is a different San Francisco team than early in the year.
The home field advantage. We've seen the #1 seed go down a lot in recent years, but I think for Seattle that home field is huge. Russell Wilson hasn't lost a game there, but San Francisco, they're a team I don't think you want to see there if you're the Seahawks. On 2nd down, it's Wilson. Here comes Mundy on the pressure. And Wilson finds Lynch. Oh, look at the vision, and Lynch shoulder down across the 40. How in the world did Russell Wilson find Lynch for that play? Terrific.
This is what he does. He's Houdini. Such a gifted ball handler. The great play action fake. It looks like he's down. That's Mundy, a safety, not a defensive lineman out there. Eyes downfield all the time, able to find Marshawn Lynch. This guy amazes you each and every week with his ability to move around and fix stuff when it breaks down.
The 22-yard gain. Wilson 5 of 6 for 60 yards. Give it to Lynch on the ground this time, and he has nowhere to run. Giants played it well. No gain.
I think with Russell Wilson, again, he exemplifies the versatility of this team. He can beat you in the pocket, but he also has that added element. And we talked about the offensive line being injured for the Seahawks. They lost a couple old pros earlier this year. Not so bad when you have Russell Wilson because he has that added dimension of scrambling to make things happen.
2nd and 11. And it's Baldwin, and Roll comes up to make a great tackle. Tom Coughlin was talking about Antrell Wolf. We met with him the other day, John. He said he was elected captain. He's shown great ownership of this team. What do you mean by that?
I think by the way he's playing, he's leading by example. He's a captain. He's a leader of this team. And in a tough year, he's gone out there and played great every week. And I turned on the film and I was blown away. He's been all around the football, tackling extremely well. He's been a game changer for them on defense.
It'll be a 3rd and 8 for Wilson and the Seahawks. Lynch in the flat and fighting forward. Where's the spot? Oh, it's right there. He should have a first down. McBride was there, but Lynch powering for enough to move the chains.
And here's the difference of the two teams. We saw last series the Seahawks keeping the ball in front, coming up and making a clean tackle. McBride tries to, but that's what Marshawn Lynch does. He churns his legs so well, aware of where he is. Now, I think they should challenge that spot, though, because watch that right foot. Where's the ball right there? It doesn't look like it's at the line to gain. So I'd be interested to see if they do challenge this spot.
I think they win this challenge. I mean, right where this right foot here, the ball you see is a little bit back towards the hip. That's a good look. I think Tom Coughlin's going to take a look at this one because this should not be a first down.
He's got that flag in the left hand, poised to throw it, and there it goes.
The Giants are challenging the ruling of the forward progress on the field.
The right foot down. He's kind of hidden. The ball is hidden with Terrell Thomas, but it does not look like it's at the line to gain.
They will look at this. Should be a 4th down coming up for Seattle. This is what they're looking at, John. You see his right foot out of bounds here. And the ball, his elbow, is another angle.
After reviewing the play, the runner's foot was out of bounds with the ball 1 yard short of the line to gain. New York will not be charged a timeout.
As old Eagle Eye there, Tom Coughlin always been good at the challenge. I think 43%. Our statisticians come up with everything. 43% all-time, 5th best since they started the challenge system. Tom Coughlin, very good at that.
Had a big call because now Seattle will punt on that 4th and a half a yard. This punt coverage unit, along with Ryan, the best in the league. If you missed it earlier, they've allowed a grand total of 15 return yards. It was a fair catch on the first one. And they're going to let this one bounce, and it takes a good bounce for the Giants, that's for sure. Instead of being down to the 5, it's in the end zone for a touchback. Eli Manning and the Giants offense. Andre Brown, Victor Cruz looking to get a little offense going. We come back. Friday, January 3rd, one of the best bowl games of the year. It's on Fox. 13th ranked Oklahoma State taking on James Franklin, the 8th ranked Missouri Tigers. The AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic Friday, January 3rd. It's at 7:30 Eastern, and it's only on Fox.
Classic Big 8 matchup there.
Old school. Artie Kempner would love it. Great shot from our cable cam at MetLife Stadium today. 3-0 Seahawks. 2:24 to go in the first. And it's a pitch to Brown. Looking for some running room, and he picks up a few. It's hard to find running room on this Seattle D. I mean, it really is. It's the one slight weakness about them, but they come in overall the #1 defense in the NFL.
And they're very good, and we keep talking about versatility, but they kind of rotate. You saw Big Red Bryant going off, and you look at the game changers. Here's part of the Legion of Boom. Richard Sherman, the lockdown corner outside. Earl Thomas, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He does everything for them. And then the guy with the target on him, Byron Maxwell, in for Brandon Browner. People going away from Richard Sherman, going after Maxwell, and he's held up well.
A fake on the end around, and Manning gets it to Brown. And Jeremy Lane sped up there to make sure Brown didn't really have anywhere to go. No game. We talked to Kevin Gilbride, John, and he backed up your point. He said, you know, when you look at their offense, and they're able to rotate 2 different styles, then they bring in the Rat Pack. It's coming in right now.
Yeah, and you watch Jeremy Lane. He's going to be at the nickel position. Watch his ability to close. Right here, it looks like a good gain. but the speed of Jeremy Lane. Dan Quinn talked about him. His speed jumps off the screen at you, and it sure does. He's a guy getting an opportunity with Walter Thurman suspended and making the most of it, just like Byron Maxwell.
There's some movement, and we get a penalty on a 3rd and 7. Pugh moved back, but Bennett jumped too.
Neutral zone infraction, number 72, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Pete Carroll won't be happy with that member of the Rat Pack, but that's what these guys do. They get after you. They call this their NASCAR package because it's all about speed. They go from the big, thick and heavies like Red Bryant to Cliff Averill to Michael Bennett. He can play inside, outside. Chris Clemens stays out there. They bring it on this defensive line.
And now just a 3rd and 2 for New York. 4-man rush pressure again. Manning, great looking throw, and a first down of Victor Cruz up in the 44.
Victor Cruz aligned right here. Going to see Eli Manning creating some time. Takes a quick look to see where Sherman is and works behind the safety, Cam Chancellor, and a beautiful touch pass by Eli Manning, dropping it right where it needed to be.
Manning's hit on 4 of his first 6. Cruz nearing his 3rd straight 1,000-yard season. Again, a 4-man rush going for Cruz. Maxwell made the interception, and he stepped out of bounds. Byron Maxwell with his 2nd interception in as many weeks. He took it away from Victor Cruz, and the Seahawks have yet another turnover.
Well, Eli Manning said they were going to test Maxwell. They didn't want to go at Sherman, and really, you got to put some of that on Victor Cruz. You got to fight for that ball. At the least bit, it's got to be an incomplete pass. And what happened there, Maxwell just outfought Victor Cruz for the ball. Now, I'm sure the Giants are going to be talking about a lot of contact there, but that's how these Seattle corners play, and that's a beautiful play by Byron Maxwell picking off Eli Manning.
Meanwhile, for Eli Manning, his 21st interception. That's the worst in the league. And again, not all have been his fault, but Maxwell filling in for a couple of guys. Well, one of them, Thurman, who suspended, and then Browner appealing a suspension, has played terrific football the last 3 weeks. And now it's Lynch on offense. And Lynch across the 35 to the 36, which may take us to the end of the first quarter, and that it does. We played 1 quarter at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Low-scoring affair. It's a Seahawks 3, Giants nothing. For Eli Manning, it was a tough start, first 6 games of the year. He's certainly cut down on the interceptions, but now throwing one today, his 21st. That's last in the league, but as you can see, there is pressure literally every single time he throws it. We start the second quarter, 3-0 Seahawks on 2nd down, and it's Marshawn Lynch getting across the 40. It'll be a 3rd down and short as John Beeson made the hit for New York.
These are 2 physical players going right after each other, and this is what you got to like. Watch John Beeson. You got Marshawn Lynch coming at you. You better bring it. You see a little gap, and then Beeson takes it away. That's good linebacker play by John Beeson, who really has been a great addition for Tom Coughlin and the New York Giants.
Giants got him from Carolina for a 7th-round draft pick, and he's changed their defense. And now more movement. Breno Giacomini, I think this is going to be on their right tackle.
False start. Number 68 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
No, Beeson was kind of discarded by Carolina, John, and Justin Tuck said, I would have liked to see this season. We had it in camp before the season started.
Absolutely. He also said, thank you, Carolina. But I think Carolina's all right at the middle linebacker position with Luke Kuechly, another Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and a really unbelievable football player.
Now those Panthers lead the NFL in points allowed on D. Now 3rd and long. Here comes pressure on Wilson, and Wilson is going to go down. Big-time pressure from Cullen Jenkins, and Tuck and a couple others were there to clean it up. DeMontre Moore as well. Seattle will punt.
Well, Tuck will get the credit for his 7th sack in the last 3 games, but it's Cullen Jenkins that just beats Paul McQuiston off the line, and Justin Tuck finishes it. Justin Tuck says in the locker room they were calling him Almost Justin. He was in a sack slump. Now they call him the King after 7 in the last 3 games.
And John Ryan will punt it away to Ruben Randall. The pressure on Ryan, he gets hit, and there's the flag. And the Seahawks will down it. Now, if you run into the plant leg, it's a 15-yarder. I don't think
Running
they did.
into the kicker. Number 21, defense. 5-yard penalty will not result in a first down. 4th down.
And I would venture to say they'd re-punt it because Ryan, with the pressure, didn't get a great punt. And it's Mundy, the safety. Ooh, just a little bit of contact.
Well, they made a small amount of contact the first time, but that time got a little of the foot. Not much. You know, again, if you run into the plant leg, it's a 15-yarder, it's a first, but they're just punting leg. It's a 5-yarder, and because it was a 4th and 12, they'll just move it up 5. And John, we've been applauding.
Decline the penalty. First down, New York.
Giants will take it. We've been applauding the Seattle special teams, but they have had 2 punts blocked this year. Should point that out. One of them last week.
And one of them versus the San Francisco 49ers. But certainly special teams has been a strength of this team. And when you look at their punt team on a record-setting pace, their punt return team with Golden Tate at critical moments. And then there's this guy, Percy Harvin, that they traded a lot of people and a lot of draft picks for. He's waiting out there, closer to being ready to play, and then they become very dynamic as a kickoff return team.
Now that'll tell you what you need to know. Golden Tate's been spectacular returning them, and then the punt coverage has been tops historic so far. They're on pace to break an NFL record. It's Andre Brown on a first down for the Giants. Breaks through the first tackle, finds his way forward for a 2-yard gain. Joe Klatt has our game break.
Kevin, let's go down to Atlanta, where Kirk Cousins, of course, starts for RG3 this week, and he's going to find Fred Davis. 23-yard score. RG3 on the sidelines watching on. Happy for Cousins, I suspect. Cousins first of the year. 14-7 Atlanta. Back to you.
Well, that's been a mess in D.C. this week, to say the least. Kirk Cousins has him on the board in Atlanta. 2nd down. They give to Brown again, trying to find the block of Myers, and stumbles his way out across the 37.
And anyone who's watched the Giants under Tom Coughlin and Kevin Gilbride know that they're a team that hangs their hat on throwing the football. But in this game, Tom Coughlin knew full well, Kevin Gilbride knew full well what a force they were going against with the pressure this Seattle D can put on you. They knew they'd had to run the ball, and they said it may not be pretty early, but we've got to be patient and stick with it. And they've done that thus far.
They roll the pocket on 3rd. Manning looking, trying to find Randall, incomplete. It was Cam Chancellor all over him, and the Giants will punt it again.
This is one of the things you have to do when you struggle on the offensive line and you've got to force. You got to move the pocket. You got to move the launch point. And what this does, it gets some time to throw, but it kind of limits your option. You're only working with that half of the field. And when they take it away, you see Eli have to double clutch. Then Cam Chancellor, his speed closes on the football.
Well, Tate looking into the sun will make the catch and get hit immediately. Jaron Hosley was down to make the hit, and Tate with no gain. He's aggressive on those punt returns, but terrific coverage. 44-yard punt by Weatherford. Russell Wilson and his Seahawks up 3 on the Giants here in the 2nd.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado, strong for all the roads ahead.
Plenty of snow in the Northeast yesterday, but it's been terrific today. Temperatures in the mid-30s. Field is clear, and the Seahawks up 3-0 on the Giants in the 2nd. Here comes Mundy on the blitz. Wilson in trouble, and down he goes. Well, Mundy got juked out by Wilson earlier, but he comes up with a 2nd Giant sack there.
That's really a neat play by Ryan Mundy. He's going to come off the corner, and here's the key. Watch, he doesn't break down. He makes Russell Wilson go and never stops and comes up with the sack. Excellent football play by backup safety Ryan Mundy.
Perry Fuel, the defensive coordinator, has blitzed him a couple times here today. I like that point, John. He kind of learned. He stutter step going in there instead of turned on the jets.
It's great athletes, like playing against Barry Sanders. That's what they want you to do. Stop your feet. You keep going, you take away their options.
Mundy's coming again on the blitz. They're going to give it to Lynch. And Pasinger hanging on, gets some help. And Lynch is going to pick up a short gain. And now a 3rd and long coming up.
I tell you, John Beeson understands what a challenge it is with Marshawn Lynch. Those are two physical players. We saw the run earlier, but watch him come finish this play on Marshawn Lynch. All the way from the other side. Pasinger slows him down, and then boom, there comes John Beeson. That is excellent tackling by John Beeson.
Now 3rd and long. Seahawks need to get to the 29. Pressure in Wilson's face. Hit as he throws it, and Tate can't come up with it. Made a great adjustment, but Amukamara was there, and the Seahawks will punt it away.
Cullen Jenkins is having himself a day rushing the passer. Pressure right up in Russell Wilson's face, and this is really a great play by Golden Tate. Almost getting the catch, but most of all keeping Amukamara away from picking the ball, and that allows your quarterback to take shots and have confidence that at least it's going to be an incomplete pass, not a turnover.
Giants looking at good field position for the first time as Ryan will punt it away. Look at the hang time on this. Ruben Randall will have a chance to return it, a rarity against Seattle, but he doesn't go very far. A 53-yard punt will give him officially 2 on the return. Giants ball, they trail by 3. John, during the break, they gave Ruben Randall 4 yards on the return. The back judge came in, moved it up a little bit. But how about this? It's the first punt return yard allowed by Seattle's punt team since October 28th. So that's a momentous occasion. And now a first down for the Giants. It's Andre Brown who runs into a brick wall after a gain of 1.
And you want to know why he only got 4 yards and why they've been so good on the punt coverage team? This Jeremy Lane, that's called the gunner position. Double team, gets knocked down, but what do? You get back up and you go make yourself a tackle. 4 yards, that's a lot for this punt coverage team, but that's a darn good job. And there's Curse, another receiver who plays a lot for them, getting held, but he does force it up to Jeremy Lane. The gunners doing outstanding work for this Seattle punt coverage unit.
2nd and 9, and Seattle jumps. Averill.
False start, number 10 offense. Jerking his hands forward. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Wow. Bill Levy called it on Eli Manning. They don't often call it. We talked about the hard count from the gun. Watch Eli Manning. Calls him for jerking his hands forward. And he does give a little movement, but they usually let that go. I'm surprised. And Eli pleading his case to Bill Levy.
You know, regardless of the rule, you just never see it on the quarterback. You saw it twice earlier this year on Drew Brees. Remember that? And he was flabbergasted. And so it moves the Giants back in a 2nd and long. Manning actually has time going against Richard Sherman, and that does not end up very well. Sherman with the interception. That's his 5th of the year, and Manning's 2nd of the game.
And just not a great throw, but I'll say again, if you're a receiver in this league, you got to battle for that football. Seattle's out battling the New York Giants. 2 interceptions for the Seattle Seahawks.
This game is sponsored by the new Windows, one experience for everything in your life.
2nd interception of the game for the Seahawks, who lead the league in takeaways. Only a 3-0 lead, though, here in the 2nd quarter. And they've got it on their own 38 with a 1st and 10. Wilson fires over the middle, and he's got a completion up near the 1st down. It's Doug Baldwin. Maybe a little shy. Terrell Thomas on the tackle.
There's Richard Sherman, who came down and really just outfought Hakeem Nicks. Wasn't a good throw by Eli Manning. Could put it a little more outside, but it's a receiver's job in this league. When your quarterback trusting you to go get the ball, go fight for it and make it an incomplete pass, if not a catch.
On On a 2nd and 1, it's Lynch for a first down into Giants territory. And we'll give him 4 yards. 22 interceptions, John, are obviously too much for Eli Manning. He'll be the first to tell you that. But, when your offense is struggling all year, at some point you're going to throw it up and hope that somebody makes a play. And it just hasn't happened a lot this year.
It hadn't been a good year for him either. He knows that. He's got to take ownership. And ultimately, I think his older brother Peyton said it best. As a quarterback, you sign the checks on every throw, good and bad in this league. But he certainly hasn't had a lot of help this year.
On the play action, Wilson's going to take it. And he's going to meander to about the 45, pursued by Beeson.
John Beeson really having a really good game early on. He's going to be right there in the middle, going to see the play action, go ahead, get a bump on a receiver, and then Russell Wilson moves at a fast rate. But John Beeson right there to force him out of bounds for the short game.
Beeson, John, he signed a 5-year, $50 million deal with Carolina in 2011. Then he ruptured his Achilles, he tore his labrum, and then the Panthers drafted Luke Kuechly. The Giants have benefited, that's for sure. Plenty of time for Wilson. He's got a man wide open. It's Doug Baldwin. And he slips and falls down, gets up. No one touched him. And Baldwin finally out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
Well, Kevin, you're seeing it well here today because you said plenty of time. He had all the time in the world. And when you have that much time, a receiver like Doug Baldwin, Stanford guy, he got to find the soft spot in the zone. And Russell Wilson, an accurate passer, finds Doug Baldwin. Outstanding execution by this Seattle offense.
Empty set for Seattle. You don't see this too often from them. And they split out 5. Wilson pump over the middle, completion again and again. He goes to Baldwin. It'll be a 1st and goal, Seahawks.
One of the things that quarterbacks in this league do, they manipulate people. Watch the quick little pump to the left. They fake the tear screen, and that opens up that middle of the field. Doug Baldwin and Russell Wilson, all the space in the world. Russell Wilson doesn't miss many of those. Tremendous design by Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks.
That's Zach Miller, the tight end in motion. They're going to give it to Lynch. And Tuck and a couple of others will stop Lynch shy of the goal line. Will Hill coming in to make the hit as well.
This is Marshawn Lynch territory. This is where he shines. 12 touchdowns on the year for Marshawn. They run the ball extremely well. They adjust in game. He's powerful, he's strong, and he's got a nose for that end zone.
From the 2. Lynch battling, still fighting, and he gets in. Marshawn Lynch with a 2-yard touchdown run, his 11th of the year. And the Seahawks up 9-zip.
Kevin, you can talk about all of his abilities, how strong, how sturdy he is, how powerful, but sometimes it's just flat out will. I wanted a little more than you do. Watch Lynch, he's going to be hit right here. Here comes the rest of the Giants. Continues to keep his feet moving, continues to drive those legs. Next thing you know, he's in the end zone. Tremendous effort and will by Marshawn Lynch, who does this on a week in and week out basis. A great football player for the Seattle Seahawks.
And they're going to take a look at this to make sure he got in. As they take a look at every score. I mean, I thought he did. His knee not down with the keeping up ball.
He's
right
in.
I mean,
he's 6'7" Giants had a chance at him. You're talking D lineman too. And he just says, get off. I'm getting in that end zone.
Marshawn Lynch, 13 total TDs on the year. Still waiting on this review. It certainly looked like he
After
scored.
reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And so Marshawn Lynch with his 13th overall touchdown. Look at the points off the takeaways. Of course, Sherman with the interception, and that led to a 7-play, 62-yard drive. Now Nebraska's extra point is good.
And here's the interception by Richard Sherman. This is what he is so known for, the press coverage. And then watch him pin Hakeem Nicks and go attack the football. It's just excellent cornerback play. I think Nicks could have fought more. Not a well-thrown football. You got to put that towards the outside. But that's been the story for the New York Giants this year. They turn it over too much. It leads to points. They put their defense in a real tough position again and again and again. And that's what Pete Carroll preaches to these Seattle Seahawks. He says, it's the first thing I say every year. It's all about the ball. When we win the turnover margin, we're going to win football games. And boy, have they done that this season.
And then you have Marshawn Lynch, who I think really personifies what this Seattle team is. I mean, that 2-yard run says it all, really, about the whole feel of this team. And it's weird that an offensive player will be the guy that almost sets the tone sometimes. What do you think about that as a guy who used to knock people all over the field, John?
Well, I've run into that guy, Marshawn Lynch, plenty of times. I give him a hug down on the field before. He is a brick house. I mean, you can see why he just bounces off people. Just a ball of muscle, but then that will. I mean, sometimes you just got to want it more, even at this level. And that's what you see. Incredible will from this guy. He wants a championship badly, and he's playing like it.
So 10-0 Seahawks, 5:30 to go in this first half. Jarrell Jernigan will have a chance to return it from his own 2. And he's got some room. Jernigan up across the 30. Lane tripped him up to save what could have been an even bigger return. And so the Giants down 10-0 after a 31-yard return will have the ball. So here was yesterday. It was some pretty bad conditions in northern New Jersey. Snow, sleet, cold. But you came here today, John. A little slip and slide, too. Yeah, it looks beautiful today after all this. And then here's a shot today. Just beautiful. Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide Insurance on our cable cam today. Just a great shot. Love that. Giants down 10 and a 1st and 10. Manning hits Brown, who slips down. Bruce Irvin gets credit for the hit.
And Kevin, we talked earlier. Dan Quinn, Pete Carroll, Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, they employ this group of guys right here. The big uglies, as they used to refer to them. That's what their thick and heavy group. They're going to play these guys on the base downs and say, all right, you want to mix it up, we'll mix it up right back. And then they bring in the speed when it gets to the sub, the nickel situations. Incredibly versatile team that throws a lot at you.
Brown left side, and we get a flag too. Brown up to the 40. 3-yard gain, but let's see what the penalty is.
Holding, number 73 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
It's on James Brewer, the left guard.
He's going up against Tony McDaniel on that last play, and it was really an extraordinary effort by McDaniel. Right there, watch McDaniel. He's going to stand Brewer up, reach out and make the play by the jersey and also draw the hold. Really nice play by Tony McDaniel.
Big guys out, NASCAR in, John.
Comes the Rat Pack.
Manning over the middle, and he's got a completion to Nicks, and the swarm of Seahawks comes on in. Speed in which they get to the football, the Seattle D, is pretty impressive.
Well, here's a great illustration of it, Kevin. Watch these backers right in here. Watch them drop. They're going to get their eyes on the quarterback. You're going to give up a catch, but here comes the posse. They're coming from all angles, and then they tackle well when they get there. It's the mark of a good defense, and they've got the top-ranked one in the league in Seattle.
Consider the fact that K.J. Wright, their best overall linebacker, got hurt last week, out 4 to 6 weeks. 3rd and long. Pressure again on Manning. They set it up to Brown, who is going nowhere. Jeremy Lane, who's had a terrific first half, that nickel corner with the hit.
Another great example of tackling in space. And Jeremy Lane, Aaron Brewer blocks somebody. Jeremy Lane comes up, eludes Jeremy Brewer, and makes the tackle on, James Brewer, and then makes the tackle on Andre Brown. Fantastic football play by Jeremy Lane.
Now we'll watch Lane the other way on the special teams as Weatherford gets set to punt it to Golden Tate. Tate of the 25 eludes the first. The Giants cover well. Michael Cox is the guy to make the tackle. Well, this is your game. This is your show. Join the guys on Fox Football Daily, including John Lynch. It's every weeknight for the best insights, analysis, and interviews in football. Fox Football Daily, weeknights at 6 Eastern, only on America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1.
Gave me a week off this week, partner.
Hey, since you got the 100,000 club and the frequent flyer miles, are doing you a little favor. Now, Bill Levy and crew discussing a spot here. I'm not totally sure. Didn't see a flag or anything.
Number 29 of the kicking team went out of bounds on his own, came back in. 5-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
You can be forced out of bounds, but you can't run out on your own and then continue to run down that sidelines. And they get Cox for doing just that. He does make the tackle. The officials right on it.
Well, the Giants, even when they do something well today, they've been hurting themselves. A couple penalties, a couple mistakes as we see the offensive leaders for Seattle. Robert Turbin in the game for Marshawn Lynch. He lines up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Wilson looking for Tate, incomplete.
Kevin, you're at that point in the game. If you're the New York Giants, and yes, you aren't playing for a playoff, but you're playing for pride. This defense has played well. You got to make a play right now to get yourself back in this game. Your offense is struggling. Somebody on this defense has to step up and make a play. Critical juncture of this game. And if not, we know how good Seattle is, and they can start steamrolling. Somebody's got to make a play for the New York Giants defense.
Marshawn Lynch back in the game for Seattle. He gets it. Hurling one tackler, and Giants will stack them up at about the 38-yard line. Ryan Mundy was there first. Justin Tuck appears to be in some pain.
So Justin Tuck walking it off, and he really has played some special football here in the last couple of weeks. Shows up in the 6.5, 7 sacks he has in the last 3 games. But he's playing the run equally as well. Pending free agent for the New York Giants. They got a big decision as it pertains to Justin Tuck.
Seattle's going to let this run to the 2-minute warning. They have been in total control here from MetLife Stadium. It's 10-0 Seahawks over the Giants. 2 minutes to go, first half. Seahawks have dominated to this point, up 10-0. 2 minutes to go in this first half. They've got a 3rd and 6. Now they're 0 for 5 on 3rd down today, but some context. They've all been long. 11 yards, 11 yards, 8, 7, and 12. So this is the shortest opportunity on a 3rd down. It's Wilson out of the empty set. Here comes pressure from Tuck, still on his feet. Against his body finds Tate, fighting forward. He's got the first down.
Kevin, we talked about Marshawn Lynch and the will. This team just seems to have this quality. Short of the first down, but not anymore because he kept driving those legs and fell forward. Tremendous play by Golden Tate.
All right, so it's on Seattle. Apparently Bill Levy's mic is cut out. That'll move him back 5 yards. I mean, that's your wide receiver doing that. That's not your running back now.
Yeah, and that's one thing Golden Tate, I think he's a more sudden version of Hines Ward. He plays a lot like Hines Ward used to, so strong in the legs that arm tackles don't do it. You better bring it, and you better get a lot of people there, or he'll do what he just did to Prince Amukamara.
Each team with 3 timeouts to go in the half, so plenty of time. And they're going to get it to Lynch, who breaks a tackle. And a lot of room for Marshawn Lynch. Still fighting forward and shoved out of bounds to stop the clock inside the 30. It's a gain of 31 yards.
John Beeson had been having a really nice day tackling. Arm tackles don't work against that guy. Not against Marshawn Lynch. And what a player he is. We've seen him running the football. We've seen him catching the football, scoring touchdowns. Such a big part of the Seattle offense.
I mean, they throw the ball to Marshawn Lynch a lot. But look at those numbers today. 6 catches for 74 yards receiving. Pressure from Tuck again. Wilson going for the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. Golden Tate hauls it in. And hang on a second. That means that Tate was out of bounds.
See, inbounds.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he was. 3-4 times.
And if he goes out of bounds, cannot be the first one to come back and catch the ball, even if he does reestablish. Tremendous job, though. You just see the explosiveness of this offense. Russell Wilson, it looked like Justin Tuck was going to sack him. Instead, he's out of the pocket, eyes downfield, and Golden Tate works to the soft spot of the zone. Unfortunately for Seattle, stepped out of bounds.
.112 to go in the half and a 1st and 15. Wilson is going to tuck in and run it to the 30. He's going to pick up 4, clock ticking away. Seattle not taking any timeouts. Again, all 3 in their pocket. Fake it to Lynch. Again, here comes Tuck. Again, there goes Wilson. With the pump fake, diving forward, close to a 1st down. Have to think Seattle calls a timeout here.
And that ability of Russell Wilson to make something out of nothing. When nothing's downfield, nothing's there. Just watch him. He's going to get back there. Little play action fake. Looking for Doug Baldwin, not there. Go ahead, get 9 yards running the football. That plays and it wreaks havoc on a defense. It's tough to deal with.
Also, you see the awareness trying to get the 1st down out of it as well. So the Seahawks with 37 seconds to go. And that is indeed a 1st down on the 19-yard line.
And here's what that style of football, when you're running around, Kevin, defensive linemen get tired. You see Justin Tuck on his knee, Kiwanuka on his knee. These guys are exhausted.
Oh, it's been all Seattle. And the funny thing is, I don't think the Giants defense has played that bad today. You know, they've had a couple turnovers. I mean, they've kind of held their own, but this is a huge drive. I mean, you don't want it to be 17-0 if you're New York going into the break. From the 19. Now the pressure comes. Wilson gets it away, incomplete. Linval Joseph wanted the sack, but oh, it did get him down. They're going to say that he was down in a sack as Bill Levy saying keep the clock going. And now Seattle calls their 2nd timeout. So the knee was down and Joseph gets credit for the sack.
Bill Levy called it right away. He saw that knee down. He called it right away as a sack. And that's how you play defense on Russell Wilson. You keep coming after him. It's tough to do, but Linval Joseph finishes him off. See the knee down, ball out, not out yet. Good job by referee Bill Levy.
Let's get a preview coming up at halftime. Kurt Menefee from L.A.
I'm coming to you from the Emmy Award-winning audio booth here at Fox. And coming up on the Visa halftime, a key AFC East game between the Patriots and the Dolphins, plus those other guys, will join me on the Visa halftime. I wonder what this button does. Oops.
More you can do, Kurt.
Tell you, he's a man of many talents. They're looking at this upstairs. And just to see if Wilson's knee was indeed down on the sack. As it stands right now, 26 seconds to go in the half, and Seattle with a timeout left.
See knee down right there, ball in his hand. That's the 31-yard line, I believe, on the spot. Knee down, ball still in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you wonder how these referees do it. That thing's moving full speed. We've got the luxury of slowing it down to the nth degree, and it's still hard to tell. But Bill Levy, he saw that one.
Well, the Seahawks are already in field goal range for Hauschka at the 30. This would be a 48-yarder with 26 seconds left and a timeout. Certainly an opportunity to go for more.
After review, the quarterback's knee was down. The ball should be spotted at the 31-yard line. Seattle still charged their second timeout.
So there you have it. You get the clarification of the rule. Giants have 3 sacks now on the day. They've done a good job getting some pressure. That's the graphic. Give you an idea. He's been under some duress. Of course, he's escaped a few of them as he normally does. 23 yards rushing. But now backed up a 2nd and 22. Robert Turbin in the game for Marshawn Lynch, and he lines up as a receiver at the bottom of your screen. Time for Wilson, and a lot of it. And he's going to run it again and stumble down to his knees at the 27. And now Seattle will take their final timeout.
Really a good job by this New York Giants defense. I mean, they've been chasing Russell Wilson all around. Their offense, again, has put them in bad position as they have all year. And for Seattle to only have 10 points, I think that's a victory for the New York Giants.
I mean, they've run 16 more plays than the Giants. Giants have thrown 2 picks. I think they've had a pretty good first half, and you can see Cullen Jenkins. I mean, yeah, it's had a lot of effort out there, this Giants team. There's a big play here. No timeouts left for Seattle. 3rd and 18. Call it 17, and for all that's gone on, for all the Seattle domination, if you could go in still 13-0, you have to feel pretty good about it. You come out in the second half. Seahawks need to get to the 9. No timeouts left. So Wilson throws it for the end zone for Kearse, and it's incomplete. And they'll try a field goal.
And that's smart. You go ahead, you take your one shot, and if you're going to take the shot, take it at the end zone. But that's the trust Russell Wilson has in his receivers. It's either going to be a catch or an incomplete pass. And that now gives them the 7 seconds left for Hauschka and the field goal unit.
Hauschka's got a 49-yard field goal today. This from 44. Ryan, the holder, is ready. Snap is good, and Hauschka continues his tremendous year. 44-yard field goal 3 seconds to go in this half, and the Seahawks up 13-0 on the Giants.
Hauschka, I mean, there's no doubt when he kicks them. They're right down the middle, as you say, true. I mean, they are right down Broadway every time Hauschka. That's a kicker in a zone, and that's a good thing for the Seattle Seahawks.
Hauschka, what a weapon when you have that kind of consistency. Russell Wilson pretty fond of it. And even though the Giants get a win on defense, they're still down 13-0. How about this from Hauschka, John? I mean, you want to talk about consistency. We'll go the last 3 years under 50 yards. He's got 2 for 2 today in that category. He's 71 of 75. He's missed 4 field goals out of 75 tries.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah. And so the Giants will get a chance to try and return a kick and trying to figure out how to move the ball on this Seattle defense. They've got just 54 total yards in this first half. 54. And Hauschka will try to prevent the return. Giants will let it go on out of bounds and take it on the 40. And so the Giants will have it on the 40.
Seattle. And the ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
At least have a chance to throw a Hail Mary. Wonder why they did that. You know?
Well, yeah, for all the praise we just heaped on Hauschka, that's the one thing you can't do, because now 3 seconds, that gives you somewhat of an opportunity. Awful long on a Hail Mary, but just not a good execution of the play, the squib kick by Hauschka and the Seahawks.
So we praise Hauschka on the field goal kicking, and then he skunks one out of bounds. And now the Giants have one last play in the half. Three-man rush. Still pressure on Manning. Roll around trying to unleash it, and he does. And it's going to be picked off again by Richard Sherman, his second of the half, his 6th of the year. That leads the league. And Seattle, now a little skirmish breaks out. And it's all Seahawks in this first half from MetLife Stadium. Sherman with the pick. 13-0 Seahawks. That's your score here at halftime. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. The VSiN halftime report. Giants as we get set for the third quarter. 13-0. They've picked off Eli Manning 3 times, and that has been part of the story in this first half. Reminder, you can follow your favorite team all season long. iTunes, go to itunes.com/NFL. So we get set for the third quarter kickoff. He's John, I'm Kevin, and John, the Seattle team, they just beat you over the head for a while, and then all of a sudden they're in the lead and controlling the game.
They do, and really we shouldn't be surprised with this game the way it's going, because it's been a microcosm of both teams' season. New York's been careless with the ball here today. They have all year long. It translates to points for the Seahawks, and Seahawks, they take it away and they protect it. And when you do that, you don't have to be extraordinarily prolific. Good things happen. They win the turnover battle.
Yeah, the Giants haven't even remotely gotten anything going offensively. 54 total yards in the first half. Richard Sherman 2 picks off of Eli Manning, and the Giants will take the opening kickoff of the second half. It's Jernigan who will take it out. And Jernigan upended by Curse. Another great special teams tackle. Down to the field we go with Aaron Andrews.
Hey, and as you guys mentioned, same old story for the New York Giants. I spoke with head coach Tom Coughlin coming out of the half. He's happy with special teams. He's happy with defense, but he said this offense, we're not blocking, we're not doing anything. There's no back and forth whatsoever. He did then smack me on my shoulders and say, let's go. We've got the ball here. Let's do something. Guys, for Seattle's defense, like you mentioned, Richard Sherman with 2 interceptions. I talked to Pete Carroll about it. He said, I asked him, what's the difference, Ben? He hadn't had a pick since week 8. He said, they're finally throwing his way.
Apparently, EA's playing linebacker in the second half, according to Tom Coughlin. Oh, that's something. He's trying to get some energy going. There's nothing there as Andre Brown's going to lose yardage. Brandon Mebane, the big fella, started it all.
Well, their coach for the New York Giants is getting physical down there. Problem is, his offensive line isn't. And Brandon Mebane, as you see the quarterback comparison, 13 of 17 for Russell Wilson, 157. Eli Manning, the 3 interceptions jump at you. But the Seattle defensive line, as you thought might be the case, taking it to this New York Giant offensive line.
And they're trying to run the ball, but there is just nowhere to go. Michael Bennett that time as some boos coming down from the crowd at MetLife Stadium.
And here's that NASCAR package. Michael Bennett, a defensive end. He comes inside. Aaron Brewer comes across. He's supposed to trap Michael Bennett. And there wasn't any trap right there. Michael Bennett makes the play.
Well, Michael Bennett's not sure what he's doing there, but he did make the tackle. Andre Brown has 9 carries for 11 yards. And he's had a pretty good year coming back from the injury running the ball, but not against this team. 3rd and long. Bennett coming hard at Manning. Sack, fumble, it's on the ground. The Giants get it back. But this Giants offensive line is getting toasted all day. Now that is just not pretty.
Not pretty, but what is pretty is this move he just put on Justin Pugh. Justin Pugh's a rookie, but put up some resistance. Eli Manning's got no chance right there. Michael Bennett all over him, and it's not just pressure, it's quick pressure. It's beating the guy in front of you right off the bat, and we've seen it repeatedly all year, and it needs to change for this New York Giants team to be successful.
Weatherford punting from his own end line. He gives Golden Tate a good return opportunity. Tate gets a couple blocks across midfield, and he's out of bounds inside the Giants' 45-yard line. Zach Diassi, the long snapper, on the hit. But after the big punt, it's Tate again with another large return. Seattle football.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Well, it was a gross first drive after the break for the Giants. And after the punt return by Tate of 17 yards, Seattle up 13-0 here in the third. And they started out at the Giant 45. Pressure at Wilson. Stiff arming escape for a big run. And he's inside to about the 30-yard line.
This is something we've seen in Russell Wilson's vast repertoire. He's got the stiff arm. This is Justin Tuck, one of the great sack artists in this NFL, and the stiff arm from Russell Wilson. And maybe I see now why his freshman Tom O'Brien at NC State wanted to make him a safety, Kevin.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. What did Justin Tuck say about Russell Wilson? I was hoping he looked at that baseball money and went into Pete Carroll and said, I've had enough. Here's Wilson again. Roll coming in to force him out of bounds for a loss. But we talked about the baseball story. Folks at home say, what are you talking about? Aaron, can you help fill us in?
Yeah, well, of course, the news that the Texas Rangers went ahead and called Russell Wilson this weekend this week at 6:30 in the morning. He was already on his way to the facility, of course, and said they had drafted him. Deion Sanders saying he should go and take that money. But just to add on to what John was saying, and you guys, I'll throw it back up to you, and you can send it down after this play.
I will follow your orders. A second down and long. And Wilson has Kearse for another first down. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, you talked about Russell Wilson when he was a freshman, that at NC State there were 4 guys trying to be the starting quarterback, and Tom O'Brien, the head coach at the time, had asked him, do you want to be a safety? And Russell Wilson said, I was born to lead, I was born to be a quarterback, let me go ahead and do it. One of those quarterbacks, by the way, guys, Mike Glennon, Tampa Bay starting quarterback, and then his freshman year, I covered him his very first game, and I feel old. Back to you, Kev.
I don't think the safety decision would have worked out after all. Well, who knows? He probably would have made it work. First down again, firing its Kearse again, and now getting Kearse involved. McBride on the tackle. Well, the Texas Rangers, as Aaron told you in the Rule 5 draft this week at the winter meetings, they've drafted football players before. And, you know, they went out. John Daniels drafted Russell Wilson. Here's the guys they've drafted. None of them have played. I mean, maybe Winston does, but I doubt it. And Daniels said, I just wanted him to be a part of our organization.
Well, I mean, if you've sat down, I wish everyone had the opportunity to sit in a room with Russell Wilson, because he will lift your spirits about life. He's just got a positive nature about him.
Lynch from the 10-yard line has a first down, John.
But I tell you what, I was most impressed, that story about moving this. Oh, Brian mentions that about going to safety. He says, I prayed on it for 2 days. I came back and I said, I'm going to stay at quarterback, coach. I'm going to be your quarterback this year, and I'm going to be an all-ACC quarterback. Both things happened, and Pete Carroll is a happy man that they didn't make him a safety. But Pete did say to us he could have played safety in the NFL. I promise you, and I agree.
On first and goal, it's Marshawn Lynch, and he's going to be about 1.5 yards shy. When you sit with Russell Wilson, clearly he's talented, but it's pretty easy to see why the leadership just oozes from him. You know, it's hard to explain unless you're in the room, but we've met with him now 3 times. And I got to tell you, each time for about a half hour, and it's just, I don't know, you leave the room, you almost feel like you want to, you want to play on the offense with him, don't you?
I like Russell for president.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Playing well again. Lynch second and goal, and the Giants stacking him up again. And so it'll be a 3rd and goal from the 1. Jonathan Hankins got there first.
And I tell you, no quit in this Giants defense. You got a guy like Marshawn Lynch. We saw it in the first half. He could carry you in the end zone, but right there, the Giants defense wasn't having any of it. You got a lot of people to the ball, which you need with Marshawn Lynch.
Third and goal. Fake to Lynch. Wide open. Miller, one-handed grab. No, he's out of bounds. Wilson led him a little too far, and this Giants defense holds again.
Well, Zach Miller, an unnoted but important player in this Seahawks team, makes a wonderful catch, but does not have control in 2 feet. You see the Pete Carroll keeps his offense out there. He's going to go for it.
Interesting call. It's only a 2-score game right now, but they're going to gamble. Play clock at 2. And Lynch whistle blows. They might have moved here. They got the playoff, but I think this is coming on Seattle, and that may make them kick a field goal.
False start. Number 68 offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, they were rushed. It's Bruno Giacomini. It's actually not Giacomini. It's the guy inside of him. I believe it's Paul McQuiston who was offsides with the false start. But they were late in getting their group. They made a late decision to keep the offense out there. And I think they knew there was some urgency trying to hurry, and it bit them right there. Now they'll send Hauschka and the field goal unit out.
Hauschka's 2 for 2 today. This is a 24-yard attempt. And Hauschka is 3 for 3, and so Seattle makes it 16-0 here at MetLife Stadium.
Kevin, one thing that you just notice when you're around the Seattle Seahawks, the leadership of this team, it adds to that special vibe that this team has. Pete Carroll, that man, he is so upbeat, and he's found someone in his quarterback who matches his positivity, and it grows on you. This is after the field goal. Both of them out there meeting every offensive lineman. These are little things. Those guys feel appreciated when you do that, when your quarterback, your head coach is out there. I've watched it every time the field goal team comes off. You go thank the big boys for a job well done.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
It really is. Hauschka will kick it off. And Jernigan will watch it go out of bounds in the end zone. Giants will take over on their own 20. Seattle has dominated here in New Jersey, a place they hope to return to in 7 weeks. We'll see.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Walking with Dinosaurs. Friday, only in theaters.
Well, here's a couple numbers that'll make you cringe if you're a Giants fan. They're averaging 1.8 yards a play today, and their longest drive is 5 plays. They have done nothing against the Seattle defense, and it's all Seahawks 16-0 in the 3rd. Manning hits Victor Cruz on the slant, and Cruz is going to have a gain of 9. Kurt Menefee has the latest game break for us.
Well, the Browns and Bears keep going back and forth. This is Edwin Baker, his first NFL game, his first NFL touchdown, and it's good enough to tie it at 17 in the 3rd quarter. Kevin, John, and Eric.
Well, Kurt, thanks, John. There's some interesting scores going on. Minnesota beating up the Eagles 24-9. Phillies won 5 in a row. Dolphins and Patriots tied at 10. That's huge. Dolphins trying to get in the playoffs. Patriots trying to clinch the division, and then that one, the Browns trying to mess up the Bears' chances. On 2nd down, Manning has a completion to Pasco and a Giant first down.
And I think the Giants said, well, none of our receivers are working against Richard Sherman, so let's try a big tight end and Bear Pasco. And Bear Pasco just beat Richard Sherman. Good job, Bear.
You said that like you were pumping him up, man. You did. I mean, no one else has beaten Sherman today. He's picked off 2 Eli Manning passes. at least some positive yards for the Giants. It's Andre Brown, and Brown grinding his way for a 2-yard gain, where he's thrown backwards. Red Bryant and Bruce Irvin on the tackle. So here's the NFC East. We told you the Giants are already eliminated today. So it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. Philly is losing 24-9 in Minnesota. That's very surprising. And then a big one, Green Bay and Dallas on Fox later. Eagles and Cowboys play the final week of the season. So as long as there's only a game separating, they're done that game for all the marbles. That's what it comes down to. 2nd and 8. Manning can't find anyone, and then looking for Cruz, and he was pretty well blanketed by Jeremy Lane. Michael Bennett coming with pressure on Manning.
Better protection that time for Eli Manning, but the receivers didn't win. Jeremy Lane going to lock up Victor Cruz. Not a lot of separation or any separation for Eli Manning. There's Maxwell on Hicks, and there's Randall blanketed by Richard Sherman.
Third down and 8. Play clock at 1. Pressure coming. Manning goes down.
Ball's out.
Don't see any signal. The Giants still with the football, but Manning is sacked again. They'll punt it away. It was Bobby Wagner getting his 2nd sack today.
Dan Quinn, aggressive in his nature, will bring more blitz than the Seahawks have in the past. You see him get the sack and the ball out. And David Deal alertly falls on it for the New York Giants, but Eli Manning continually besieged by the Seattle pressure.
Tate runs up to get the Weatherford punch and goes out of bounds right at the 35-yard line. It has not been a good day for Eli Manning and the Giants. Seahawks on a roll.
Take a look at that last 3rd down. Complete lack of execution for the New York Giants. The Seahawks are going to bring 6. You can't block them, so you got to have a hot route. Someone's got to break off the route. He's looking here. Brandon Meyer's not looking. Eli Manning can't do anything about it. The only thing you can do is throw the football away. This New York Giants offense putrid today.
This is Robert Turbin getting the call on 1st down, and Turbin is out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 5. Marcus Kuhn on the tackle. That's dejection. That's get your feet warm. That has been that kind of day for a Giants offense that has 55 total yards. And we've got 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
The flip side of that coin, Seattle does that to you. You got to give them credit. They are an excellent football team that pressures you and beats you in a lot of different ways.
Wilson's got all kinds of time. Still looking, throws on the run, and Luke Wilson, the tight end, makes the catch. Tiptoes in bounds. 1st down, Seahawks.
Luke Wilson's a rookie out of Rice, and they are very excited about this young man's potential. He had a great day, 3 receptions for 70 yards versus San Francisco last week. But Russell is the guy, Russell Wilson, very excited about him as well. He said about Luke Wilson, he can flat out get it. He's a 4-5, legitimate 4-5 guy. He's got the awareness. Very excited about Luke Wilson and his role in this offense as he continues to develop.
Play fake. Wilson's going to air it out, looking for Golden Tate, and it's incomplete. Prince Amukamara had pretty good coverage in the fight for the ball with Tate.
And you do look, you love the fact the way these guys compete. This is Russell taking a shot. Good coverage, but look at Golden Tate. He goes up and fights for that ball. On the other side, we've seen the New York Giants receivers not compete for the ball. Seattle coming down with the picks, and that's the difference between these two teams right now.
On second down, it's Lynch into Giants territory. John, this is a dominating performance by Seattle. It's still only a two-score game with two two-point conversions, you know, but it's just they've been in control. That says it right there. They've picked off Eli Manning 3 times. They've harassed him all day.
Domination, and that's what they've done to a lot of people this year. That's why a lot of people, including myself, think that they'll be back here. A lot of football left, but think they'll be back here for Super Bowl 48.
Third down blitz. Wilson sees it, airs it out for Baldwin, and incomplete. Jaquan Williams coming with the pressure on Wilson, and it forces a Seattle punt.
Another good job. This defense for the New York Giants is fighting. They're competing out there. It's not working out the best, but 3 turnovers and only have given up 16 points. I think they've done a relatively good job today.
Yeah, I think if you look at the numbers, you're going to say, well, how can you say that? But just watching the game, I mean, this game feels like it could be 40-0. Ryan gets off the punt. And Lane is down there to down it beautifully inside the 5. Special teams continue to be a beast for Seattle. 44-yard punt, no return, and now the dominant Seattle D on the field. They're up on the Giants 16-0 in New Jersey. Another terrific special teams play by Seattle, and the Giants pinned back in their own territory at the 5. Peyton Hillis in the game at tailback. Manning looking around, and he's got a completion. Jarrell Jernigan has a first down. We've seen it all day. Special teams for Seattle, and they've done it all year.
And Jeremy Lane, he's been great today on defense and on special team. We saw him making the tackle early. Now go ahead, get yourself down there as the gunner. Position yourself so you can pin the New York Giants back again. John Ryan, what a year he is having. And these are little things. People say, oh, it's just a punt team. It's field position, and it makes all the difference in the world. And they've been as good as you can be at it.
Peyton Hillis with his first carry of the day, as Andre Brown hasn't been able to get it going. And Hillis going to pick up 4. Tackled by Bennett.
Kevin, one move that you see out there, Brandon Mosley has replaced Brewer that was struggling mightily at that left guard position. They said, we've seen enough of that. Let's give Brandon Mosley an opportunity, and he's out there.
40, 40, 40, 54 spike, 54 spike.
Second and 6, it's Hillis again, and he gets buried. Michael Bennett, Malcolm Smith. But Bennett making his presence felt on this drive, third down.
Michael Bennett, what a luxury to be able to go out and acquire a Michael Bennett, to acquire a Cliff Averill, to a defensive line that was already top of the league, and you see him just controlling the line of scrimmage, then making the tackle. We've talked about it before, Kevin. One of the reasons they could go get him is because they drafted Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, and he's only making $656,000 or whatever. So you can go pay those guys, and they did.
3rd and long. Manning looking for Cruz, and Victor Cruz comes down with it. It comes down hard. Oh, and he's struggling to get up. He landed very hard on the right side and on the head.
And a really tough effort by Victor Cruz. That's competing for the football. He goes up, snatches the ball, knowing he's going to get undercut right there. Comes down hard. Victor Cruz, a fantastic football player. They've just struggled to have the time to get the ball to him downfield this year.
The Seattle training staff jumped out there immediately on the field. Giant staff to follow. And it's not booing and chanting Victor Cruz. Cruz in the background. That's a good sign. He's beloved here, John. He grew up in Patterson, New Jersey. It's literally 12 minutes away. He went to Patterson Catholic High School and was a high school star there. And he talked about the importance of today because he knows the tradition of this organization. That's good to see. And by the way, with that catch, that 17-yard gain, he now has his 3rd straight 1,000-yard season.
He's a good one, and they were smart to have locked him up. His contract situation was very much talked about, but he just kept doing what you should do when your contract's up. Keep producing, and that will take care of itself. They were smart to lock him up, and he'll be a Giant for a long, long time.
But he'll go out here, that's for sure. So Darrell Jernigan will replace him at wide receiver, and now we get a timeout. This is going to be a challenge on the catch. Did he actually catch it?
Seattle is challenging the ruling on the field of a catch.
Well, let's see. I wonder if the hand came off the ball. He's got to keep it cradled here. Let's see. Oh, Mike's right.
Yeah, I think Mike Pereira is exactly right. That hand coming off the ball. And how about the Seattle Seahawks catching that? I think everybody was so concerned about Victor Cruz, no one was looking at the catch, but they sure were. It's a control of the ball issue. It looks as if the catch is there, but you got to control it through the process. That hand comes off the ball. And that one's likely going to get reversed.
Mike Pereira from LA is joining us. Mike, so what are you looking at here?
Well, we were looking at this when Cruz was down being tended to, and as he's going to the ground, that hand comes off the ball. And as we know, it's a process. If you're going to the ground, you have to maintain control after hitting the ground. So if they look at this, the ball's on the ground with the hand coming off. To me, it should be reversed to incomplete.
Mike, thanks. And by the way, that was a third down play, so if not, they're going to punt.
When the the receiver hit the ground, his hand came off the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down on the 21-yard line. Seattle will not be charged a timeout.
Well, when things are going well, they're going well. And an excellent job by Seattle's coaching staff to see that amidst the concern for Cruz. And now because it was a third down after that 17-yard gain erased, Giants will punt it one more time.
I tell you, Seattle's good at everything, including challenges. I mean, they come at you in waves. And I mean, it's setting up for just an epic battle in this NFC. You've got some good teams other than Seattle. The San Francisco, we talked about them early, getting hot at the right time. New Orleans with Drew Brees, they're always going to be a very good football team. Carolina has showed itself. Are they in the category of Seattle and those teams? I'm not sure, but they're putting up a good fight.
Weatherford to punt it. Good kick. It's Tate. And Golden Tate is wrestled down at the 42. Well, this Seahawks team 11-2 coming into today. John, why are they so good?
So why aren't they? It starts right there. It's all about the ball. They take away the football. They protect it. They win the turnover battle. They throw the ball extremely well. Russell Wilson, a winner at the quarterback position. They beat you with the run as well on defense. There's the quarterback, Russell Wilson. He's a winner, 22 wins in his first 2 seasons, most in NFL history. Defensively, they come after you in ways. And when you win games like this continually, you get that home field advantage. And we all know what that means in Seattle. A lot of people think that home field advantage doesn't mean as much anymore. I guarantee in Seattle it does.
Well, Russell Wilson hasn't lost there yet, so in his career, that is a big deal. Here's Wilson, a little shuttle, and gets it out to Zach Miller, who gets stuck by Spencer Pasinger. A nice hit on Miller, but he did pick up 8 yards. You know, I think home field-wise, John, I think you'll take a look at this replay first. But, you know, I think home field has lost some of the luster in recent years because we've seen the wild card teams going to win. But I think for Seattle and New Orleans, especially maybe even New Orleans, it's huge. I mean, New Orleans is a totally different team at home. In Seattle, when you don't lose there in 2 years, it's a pretty big deal.
Hey, bandit.
On 2nd and 2, it's Lynch. And that's another Seahawk first down Monday on the trip as Cruz gets escorted back in the Giant locker room.
Kevin, we talk about Seattle and the home field advantage. home, away, they're just a really good football team. The thing that strikes me, I've talked a lot about it today, is the versatility. Bill Belichick used to talk about, Bill Parcells used to talk about, this time of year, playoffs, you want your team to be able to beat people in a number of different ways. We talked to Pete Carroll about it. He said you make yourself hard to beat. It's representative in the roster about that. They did it with a purpose. He referenced Vince Lombardi and the old Packer teams. They could beat you in so many ways, and Seattle is one of those teams.
Wilson going to go deep, and it's going to be intercepted. And Trell Roll has his 6th of the year, and the Giants get it back.
You like to see that. He was one of our game changers early in the day because of his outstanding play of late, and he's kept it up here today. He's a veteran player in his 9th year, and this is just playing what they call at the safety position, playing center field. He reads the eyes of Russell Wilson, and he goes up and attacks the football. Watch him. That's range, and then you got to finish it, and Antrell Roll does just that.
6 interceptions for Roll. Now Richard Sherman, who's got 2 interceptions today, and Lions linebacker DeAndre Levy have 6 picks to lead the league. Now 10 seconds ago in the 3rd quarter, and the Giants with 71 yards of total offense, just looking for something here. Here's Hillis out of the backfield. Good stiff arm. Peyton Hillis showing a little fight up near a 1st down for the Giants, and that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. He ran through Earl Thomas there, and after 3 quarters at MetLife Stadium, the Seahawks up on the Giants 16-0. We head to the 4th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey alongside John Lynch and Aaron Andrews. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Seahawks have dominated today, up 16-0. Giants with 81 total yards, looking to get back in the game here. Still down by 2 scores, and that's picked off by Seattle. Maxwell. Oh man, what an interception! The 4th of the day for Eli Manning.
Well, not Eli Manning's day, not Eli Manning's year. See the one-on-one, that's what you're going to get versus Seattle. And watch Maxwell. What a catch. I mean, it's a tremendous play by Byron Maxwell. Started the year as a backup corner. He's playing because Brandon Browner's injury. Not a good throw, but a fantastic play. We talked about it. It's all about the ball. They preach it, they live it, and it's been the Achilles heel on the other side for the New York Giants all year long.
24 interceptions for Eli Manning now. And Maxwell, 2 interceptions today. Richard Sherman, 2 interceptions today. They have blanketed the Giants receivers, and now Seattle really trying to take command. Up 16-0. They flip it to Baldwin. And he's to the 14 for he's shoved out of bounds, making it 13. Gains 2 as Pasinger out there on the coverage. Let's get a game break with Kurt Menefee.
All right, the Cleveland Browns get another defensive touchdown. Martellus Bennett makes the catch for the Bears, but ball stripped from him. T.J. Ward scoops it up 52 yards later. It's good for 7 and a 7-point lead. 24-17 right now as they start the 4th. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
Kurt, that's huge. Meanwhile, Minnesota, the Eagles are coming back. Vikings 27-22. That's a big game there. Dolphins lead the Patriots in a big playoff matchup as well. Here's Wilson overthrowing Zach Miller.
Something you rarely see out of Russell Wilson, an inaccurate pass. When he has receivers open, he typically hits them, and that one got away from him.
You see those scores that we're telling you about, some big games today. Of course, the Packers and Cowboys coming up later. 4 interceptions, 5th time for Eli Manning, and we showed Victor Cruz going out before the locker room. He's being evaluated for a concussion. Now 3rd down and 7. Wilson's going to take off, and he's going to slide down at the 5. He's got a Seattle 1st down.
He's so darn hard to defense because when you finally do cover everyone, he can do this to you. He sees green like that. Why not go ahead and get the first down? He's got the speed to do it, and he's always so smart. He doesn't take hits. We see Robert Griffin taking so many hits, and people concerned about him. You aren't concerned with Russell Wilson because he never does.
That's Curse in motion on a 1st and goal. Pressure from Joseph, and Wilson just throws it away.
It's hard to believe, Kevin, as you watch this game, and it tells you how quickly as the penalties down on the
Prior
field.
to the pass, holding, number 55 defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Here's Keith Rivers covering Kellen Davis, and the back judge is looking specifically at that. And when you get that hand extended outside and hold, they will call that. But you think with the Giants, they were world champions 2 years ago. How quickly you can turn around your fortunes, but can also go the other way in a hurry.
And the Giants getting caught here in a substitution. They had to call a timeout. So we'll take a break as the Seahawks are absolutely dominating here today. And we'll change the pace. We will stay here. John, think about this for Seattle, right? We're talking about home field advantage. You don't want to overblow the situation, but why is it important? Seattle's good at home. We know Russell Wilson hasn't lost at home, but think about this. This could be Seattle's last road trip until that game here again, the Super Bowl. Think about that.
Home cooking. This team needs some rest. They've done a lot of these flying east this year from Seattle. A lot of travel on this team. And they got to finish the year, and they got to take care of their business, but they seem like a team that is poised to do so.
That's the picture. The Niners are only up by 6 on Tampa now down in Tampa. They're making a comeback. A lot of close games at 1 o'clock. It's Lynch. And that time they blow the whistle. Sometimes you need all 11 guys to tackle Lynch. It was Kiwanuka who got there first. .12 to go. And Seattle has really had to work against this Giants defense, but had the ball for now 22 more plays. Wilson dropped it and then will recover. Well, he just slipped and lost it. He gets it back, and a 3rd and goal now, and moving back beyond the 10.
They do keep fighting. I mean, you've had 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions, put the defense in bad spots, but they continue to fight. And Russell Wilson right there, the ball just gets away from him, and he quickly falls on it.
Now 3rd and goal. Time for Wilson. He hits Baldwin on the slant, and Baldwin gets in. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson having another good day, and all Seahawks here in New Jersey.
Doug Baldwin, tremendous job working against McBride. Russell Wilson puts it on the dime, and then, like so many of his other teammates, the ability to get north and south and find that end zone. The quick strike from Wilson to Baldwin, and Baldwin does the rest. Breaking the plane right there.
He likes playing here, John. He's got 71 yards today and a touchdown. His career best game, 8 catches, 136 yards 2 years ago against the Giants.
That's some good company right there. when you're on the same list as Peyton Manning and Dan Marino, you're doing some good work.
They'll review this play to see if Baldwin was in. While they do that, we'll take a break. Seahawks in control in New Jersey over the Giants.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by T-Mobile. Unleash.
Still reviewing this Doug Baldwin touchdown. Oh, looked like he got the plane. Bill Levy.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Yep, he did. And it's 22-0 Seahawks pending the extra point.
Pete Carroll always coaching. That was his special teams coach right there. Brian Schneider he was with. But the Seattle Seahawks team, a formidable team, going to be tough to beat in these playoffs that are upcoming.
Alstra has the extra point, up and good. And Seattle well on their way to their 12th win this year. It's been misery for the Giants today. 12-13 to go. 23-zip. That's not a formula for winning. I mean, Eli Manning has had 4 picks today. He's got 24 on the year, but he also has 0 help.
They have not protected him, and it's been consistent all year long. The lack of protection, as has the effect of that is inaccurate throws, which turn into interceptions.
And Jernigan will have no return. Giants ball on the 20.
It started on the first play of the game. Brandon Mebane right up the middle working against Kevin Booth. Pressure Eli along with Red Bryant to throw it away. Then came the pressure in the form of the blitz. Jailbreak to Eli Manning. No hot route on this one. Nowhere to go. No one looking for the ball for Eli. It's been consistent. And that's what it's resulted in. 4 interceptions for the New York Giants offense.
You know, certainly times have changed, but 168 interceptions. He's also won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. It hasn't been his year. We know that. And the Giants are going to have some decisions to make at the end of the year. We know that too.
And that, the quarterback, is not one of those decisions. Not his year, Eli Manning, but that is their quarterback. And that's, everybody's searching for a franchise quarterback. They've got one. He hasn't played like it this year, but you got to look at the entire offense. That is not one of the many decisions the New York Giants have on their plate this offseason.
Well, you talk about those decisions. There's a couple of big-name free agents to be right there. I mean, I think Nix and Tuck, pretty interesting, especially Tuck. He's played great the last 5 weeks, John. One of your leaders, but give a guy like that big money, someone's going to, I think. Jerry Reese, the GM, will have some decisions to make, and that one is incomplete. Looking for Randall.
Yeah, I think, you know, with Justin Tuck, I think the best solution would be, you know, and the problem is somebody will pay for Justin Tuck. Now, he's going to be in his 10th year next year. There's an old adage, you don't pay older defensive linemen, but the way he's closed this season, 6 in the last 2 weeks, he had another one today. That's 7 in the last 3 weeks. He's made an awful compelling argument, and he is such a tremendous leader. Tom Coughlin was funny. He said Justin's we watched Peyton Hillis pound the ball up the middle. So Justin's such a smart guy from Notre Dame. What he did this year, he just shut up and played. And Justin's a guy, he's a thinker. He's a worldly guy, pontificator. Tom used to tell him, just play.
Personal foul, face mask, number 67 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well,
there it is right there. It's on the offense. It's on Brandon Mosley holding the face mask of Michael Bennett, and he didn't let go.
Tom Coughlin's not happy. How about Nix? You know, he's a guy that you go back to the playoffs in 2011. He had as good a postseason performance as any wide receiver has in recent memory. I mean, he was awesome. A big reason why the Giants were able to win the Super Bowl, but injuries have really changed the course of his career, John, and I think right now it's going to be tough for him to come back here, this Giants team. But those are not our decisions. As Manning going to dump off the screen to Hillis. And Hillis has good running room. Gets back to almost the original line of scrimmage.
Nix is an interesting, because he's really been an enigma for him. You know, the injuries have been there. They were hopeful because last week he had one of his better games of the year. 5 catches for 135 yards, and it looked like the Hakeem Nicks we're all accustomed to seeing, the explosive Hakeem Nicks. But he's been a mystery. Like today, he's just kind of gone quiet. You know, he hadn't done anything today, and that's been much of the season. 1 catch for 5 yards today.
Peyton Hillis was down for a moment for the Giants. As you look at the Knicks, he's had nothing to smile about today. And Hillis walking off under his own power. It's 23-0 Seattle. Their defense has been dominant. They've picked off Eli Manning 4 times. They've held the Giants to 96, make that 110 total yards after that last play to Hillis.
Hey, 4 down. Hey, Rita. Be first fight. Rita. First fight.
It's 3rd and 11, and here comes the blitz. Jernigan makes the catch. Nope, he does not. He drops it as Lane was closing in. Send out Steve Weatherford to punt one more time.
And Tom Coughlin continues to be befuddled with the lack of production. They're pitching a shutout right now, are the New York Giants offensively, and the Seattle Seahawks defense. You can't say enough about their effort. Couple backups in there playing for starters that are injured, and they haven't missed a beat. They come after you. They come after you in waves. They play a physical brand of football. It's impressive to watch.
Weatherford will punt it away as Golden Tate awaits. Good deep kick. And there's Tate. Again, another good return from Golden Tate, who seems to get 15 yards a clip. Seattle football, they're up big here at MetLife Stadium.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Walking with Dinosaurs. Friday, only in theaters.
Aerial coverage today provided by Nationwide Insurance. Great looks from our cameras today at MetLife as a new quarterback for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson's day is done, and Javaris Jackson gets some reps, giving to Robert Turbin on first down as Seattle looks to run this clock out. And Russell Wilson, just another day at the office, John.
Another day at the office, and you see the numbers. They don't blow your mind. 18 of 27, 206 yards, 1 TD, 1 ugly interception, but made plays with his legs and puts his teams in good position. He doesn't hurt his team with silly mistakes. He just plays really well on a consistent basis, and it's impressive for a guy only in his 2nd year in this league.
You know, he was very excited, as you heard Aaron Andrews tell you earlier, to play in New York. First time playing here. Just has seized the moment, so have the Seattle Seahawks. It's Turbin on a 2nd down.
One of the things you love about this Seattle team too, Kevin, you see the starters on the sideline right now. Throughout the year, due to injuries at some point, everybody on this roster has played a lot of football. That is so valuable when it comes to the playoff time. You lose a player, it's not as big a deal because they've all got experience on this roster. Anybody who's up has played significant football for this team.
I mean, they played multiple games without their starting tackles, both out at the same time. And did more than survive. As here's Jackson, the former Viking, with 14 touchdowns for Seattle back in 2011 before they drafted Russell Wilson. There's Turbin on 3rd. And he is hit a couple times and smacked backwards. They'll bring up a 4th down. As we take a look at this NFC West, Seattle, with a win and a Niners loss, would clinch the division, but San Francisco just scored to go up 23-14 on Tampa, so that doesn't look like it'll happen. And then Arizona's well in the hunt. They're in Tennessee this afternoon, a little bit later. They've got a chance at the wild card too, but they've got a trip to Seattle coming up after today.
Make it through that division, the NFC West, the best in football. You're battle tested.
Ryan with the kick. It's short from him today. And it's going to take a good bounce, and again not going to be returned. So the Seattle punt team not allowing a return again. 40-yard punt, no return. It's all Seahawks. This holiday season, part of the league's commitment to celebrate and honor alumni players. NFL Homecoming spotlights the return of legends to stadiums across the country and the fans whose unwavering support.
There was an illegal touch by number 35 of the kicking team who went out of bounds and came back in and was the first to touch the ball. 5-yard penalty was added to the end of the play. First down, Giants.
Completely rude by Bill Levy to interrupt my read there. Unwavering support makes stadiums feel just like home. To access exclusive content, hear legends in their own words. Visit NFL.com/homecoming. You believe that? Not a single play across midfield for the Giants today. That is unbelievable. That's the type of day it's been against this vicious Seattle team. Jernigan absorbs a hit and keeps going. And here comes the flag flying in on Cam Chancellor.
Boy, what an effort by Jernigan. Got popped by Cam Chancellor. They're going to get Chancellor for hitting a defenseless player across the middle.
Personal foul. Hit on a defenseless receiver to the head on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Cam Chancellor is the enforcer on this defense. There he goes after it. But Jernigan says that doesn't faze me. And I tell you what, this kid has been impressive. One of the few players that have been impressive for the Giants today. What a play by Jernigan.
And now this will be the first play all day long the Giants have run in Seattle territory after the catch and the penalty, cumulative 29 yards. Manning actually has some time and throws complete. And now the ball's tipped up in the air, and Seattle comes away with it with Wagner. And he'll flip it. And Seattle, Earl Thomas going to run the reverse. Why not? Looking for blocking. Thomas is going to be taken down across the 40.
You said it before, Kevin. It's all about the ball. And they go after it. They attack the football. Not an interception. Brandon Myers makes the catch. And it's Malcolm Smith. Gets in there. Continues to rip at the football. Pulls it out. And we got to see if he's down. Is that left hip, left knee down? He's down.
Down.
That will stay the Giants football. But they're going to have to overturn it.
Yeah, he's down.
The previous play is under review.
They look at every turnover in this league. They'll look at that, and I'm sure they'll give it back to the Giants. With 6:45 to go, Giants looking for a point. We're back at MetLife Stadium as they look at the
After
fumble.
reviewing the play, the receiver knee was down when the ball was ripped out. It'll be first down on the 34-yard line for the Giants.
Oh, there's that left knee down, and it appears as if Myers still has control of the ball. Now, Malcolm Smith's hand is on that football, but I think he is down, and Bill Levy confirms that.
John, just a quick scoreboard. The Niners won today, so they keep pace with Seattle. Seahawks will not win the division today, at least. And then wild game in Miami. Dolphins up over the Patriots by 4, but New England with 27 seconds left on the Dolphin 19. They've won a few of those this year for the Patriots in the last play. Jernigan again. And excuse me, the Niners did not win yet. They're up by 16. Premature on that announcement. That's John Schneider, the general manager, executive VP of this Seahawks team. And John, you were talking about the roster he put together.
He's the architect. He, along with Pete Carroll, people thought they were crazy in their first year. They made more moves than anybody's ever made. But they were looking for a specific roster, and they put together a fine one that is championship caliber.
Andre Brown with the carry that'll move the chain for the Giants. Under 6 to play here at MetLife Stadium. It's a long time ago. Last time Giants shut out here at home. Manning comes to Jernigan again. And Jernigan is out of bounds as Maxwell there on the tackle.
I like the way Jernigan's playing. Victor Cruz goes out. He only has 10 catches coming into the day. But now 5, leading the New York Giants in receptions with 5. Really playing that slot position well, giving Eli Manning an option in the middle of the field.
Giants at the 18. They're going to break the shutout at this point. Manning over the middle. He's got a completion. That should be enough for a first down to Myers, the tight end, a little bit short.
And it really is fun watching this Seahawks defense play. You're going to catch some balls, but you're going to pay for it each and every time. And they are a sure tackling unit. They make it tough. Every time you catch the ball, you're going to get hit. Expect it, believe it.
Well, they did give Myers a first down on that one. As Manning hit as he throws, looking for Brown, incomplete. Well, this defense is good in every way. First in the league in yardage. And they haven't allowed a rushing touchdown since week 7.
It was interesting, Kevin. We had them earlier in the year, and they had come off a little lull in that run defense. They had given up 200 yards to St. Louis and Tampa in back-to-back weeks. And Dan Quinn told us Ken Norton got up, their linebacker coach, Ken Norton, former player, in front of this defense and talked about the commitment to punishing people, and they've been punishing people ever since.
Manning going for the corner again. Sherman, Thomas off the tip, has it for Seattle. It's a touchback. And another interception, the 5th for the Seattle defense.
What a play by Richard Sherman. Again, out-competing Nix. And then watch Earl Thomas. When you hustle, good things happen. Look at the concentration, bringing it in, and then tap, tap, tap. Gets 3 feet in. What a play by this secondary. And Sherman, as good as there is at corner in the league. Earl Thomas, the best safety in the league. And Tom Coughlin, nothing else to do but just sit there and wonder what has gone wrong.
Eli Manning with 5 interceptions today. He's got 25 on the year. That ties his career worst from back in 2010. And it's been a miserable day for the Giants, with the Seahawks looking every bit the part of a Super Bowl contender. Again, Tavares Jackson, the backup, in for his second series. Turbin, backup tailback, as the Seahawks try and run out this clock. John, we've had Seattle a few times this year, and you told me earlier you thought Earl Thomas could be Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, and it's because this kind of effort. Look, Sherman really made this play, but look at the hustle. The hustle, the speed, the concentration, the athleticism to get your feet in. He owes his buddy Richard Sherman a big thanks for tipping it up. But what a player Earl Thomas is.
Jackson going to throw it for the first time, and he's got a wide open Luke Wilson, the rookie tight end. And that will move the chains for Seattle with 3.5 minutes to go. Friday, January 3rd, one of the best ball games of the year on Fox. 13th ranked Oklahoma State will take on James Franklin and his 8th ranked Missouri Tigers. The AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. It's Friday, January 3rd, 7:30 Eastern Time only on Fox. Seahawks looking to run out some time here. Marshawn Lynch out of the game and giving the ball to Turbin to run it down. Richard Sherman has had a fantastic day. John, if you're an offensive coordinator in the weeks to come, playoffs, I mean, how do you find a weakness on this Seattle defense? I know they've had a couple days where teams have gotten yards on them. I get it, but what do you do?
I think the common formula when they've lost, you got to bully the bully, and you got to punch them in the mouth. That's what San Francisco. You saw the run game wear them out, and then pop some long ones at the end. Find a way to make some big plays. It's tough in the passing game because they maul you at your receiver position. But I think that the thing is you got to run it. That keeps it away from Russell Wilson, and then find a way to make some big plays in there. But it's not easy.
That'll take us to the 2-minute warning here at MetLife Stadium, where the Seahawks have enjoyed their trip. Richard Sherman saying, drive home safely.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and
what a win by the Dolphins today, holding off the Patriots, who are down at the 12-yard line and near the end of that game. But, John, first of all, New England, after Denver's loss, had tracked a home field advantage. They relinquished that, and then the Dolphins now jump into the final wild card spot as they blitz Jackson. They'll dump it off to Turbin on a 3rd down. Giants stop them, and they'll make Seattle punt. But it's a big-time win for the Dolphins.
Absolutely. And you know, people thought they were going to fall apart with the incognito, Jonathan Martin scandal. But and you got to give Joe Philbin, the head coach of that team, great credit, keeping that team together and even getting better in the midst of a lot of controversy down there.
Yeah, they really have done a good with all that stuff that went on there. You know, to hold it together and go on a win streak like they have, and with that AFC, that's just impressive. They were tied with Baltimore for that final spot, but 8 wins. Peyton Manning in Denver saying thank you.
Yeah, right back in Denver's control now.
Ryan will punt. And Randall calls a fair catch. We've got a game break. Joe Klatt, take it away.
Kevin, next on Fox, it's America's Game of the Week. The Green Bay Packers travel to Big D. They face the Dallas Cowboys. It looks like Philadelphia is going to lose, so Tony Romo and the boys with a huge game. They control their own destiny for an NFC East title. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
Joel, thanks. Santa apparently a Seahawk fan today. I like the Seahawk hats, though. Those are pretty fresh. Well, we were telling you earlier when the game started, John, about the Seattle special teams. The punt coverage unit had only allowed 15 total yards coming into today. Giants had a 4-yard return, 4 yards total. So they've been now allowed 19 return yards all year. They're on pace set an all-time NFL record.
They are good in all phases, including the special teams units.
Curtis Painter on as Eli Manning takes a seat in the waning minutes here at MetLife Stadium, and it's Lewis Murphy with the catch. How about the pride of Morristown, New Jersey, Dan Quinn? That's where he grew up, about 20 minutes away here from MetLife Stadium, and he's almost been seamless in here after they lost McCoy to Jackson.
That was Gus Bradley.
Gus Bradley. Russ Bradley is the name I was looking for, but he's coming in, Quinn, and guys say that then even more aggressive if that's possible.
Yeah, Gus Bradley probably, came from the Monty Kiffin Tampa 2, was a little more zone defense and not prone on 3rd downs and whatnot to bring pressure and bring added blitzers. And the first thing everybody says when you talk about Dan Quinn, aggressive. We talked to him where that came from. He said it comes from Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll pushes those guys to be aggressive, and they are.
Brown gets tripped up as clock is ticking down, and timeout on the field. Greg Kinnear coming to Fox in a new show called Rake. If Dr. House was a lawyer, it would be this guy. You know he'll be getting in all kinds of trouble. Don't miss Rake, premiering Thursday, January 23rd. It's right here on Fox. Well, unless the Giants get a breakaway score here in 46 seconds, they're going to be shut out. Tom Coughlin talked with us, and so did the players Friday, about the pride of this team, the pride of the organization. It also comes down to talent. And the Seattle team right now is a lot more of it. Second and 5, blitz coming against Painter, and he goes down. Seahawks grab the sack. Jordan Hill was there first.
Jordan Hill been inactive the last 4 games. The rookie from Penn State. Dan Quinn, he's going to stay after him, stay aggressive, and that's what you do. This is the NFL, not Little League football. You stay after people. You get these guys experience such that in the playoffs, if they're called on, they can come up big. And they are.
Well, Dan Quinn's crew pitching a shutout literally as Painter throws to Jernigan. Jernigan tackled with 10 seconds left. I imagine that would be it. And if this was indeed a dress rehearsal for the Seahawks here at MetLife Stadium for the Super Bowl, well, they passed with flying colors. A dominating performance as they knock off the Giants 23-0. Seahawks win it. The Pepsi Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee is coming up on Fox.